had a soul-sucking job? I lost mine a few years back, and I couldn't have been more relieved. Mostly because no more phone conferences, no more having crazy women call me up in the middle of a busy day saying, "Who's that little Oriental girl working last night? All her boobies were hanging out." Oriental, boobies, maybe it was her soul trying to escape. And clearly it was my fault that this woman, this VP, had a beef with me because I had refused to sell her friends bedazzled dog diapers in my gift shop. So clearly it was my own fault. I was determined never to work anywhere again where I couldn't be myself. So to that end, I took a job at the local coffee shop, and it was great. I would wake up in the morning like they do in the mattress commercials, grinning and smiling and singing a happy song. And I would come home and I'd be energetic, I'd have energy to ride my bike. I started being more creative, I was writing again, I was making friends. I thought, this is exactly where I need to be. You have to understand that this was a thrilling time in Philadelphia. We were all walking around high-fiving each other, hugging total strangers in our Yes We Can Obama shirts. And not only did we have hope, we had high hopes because the Phillies were also racing for the championship. So in keeping with this momentum, I thought, all right, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to call it How I Started Waiting Tables and Stopped Waiting for My Life to Begin, or How I Lost My Job and Found Myself, and life was going to be awesome, I could be famous, and I'd go, maybe not on Oprah, but on Ellen, and we would dance. And there was just one thing in the way of this lofty goal, well, other than the writing, and that was that I was pretty sure that one of the owners of the cafe completely hated me. It was definitely a good cop, bad cop situation. And Grace was the sweet one that was very thoughtful my first day and didn't fire me for dropping a cheesecake. And Zena, on the other hand, first of all, she was disarmingly beautiful. An exotic Turkish woman with long, gracious arms that she would look at in the mirror all the time. And it wasn't so much what she did do, it was what she didn't do. She had this habit of ending phone conversations by just hanging up, you know, like they do in the soap operas, so you'd be on the other end going, what was that? When did I come in? Did she hang up on me? And then she referred to me quite often as that one. And she never spoke directly to me. She would have Grace speak to me or her husband speak to me. And indeed, it was her husband who came up to me one of my first days of work and said ominously, "Zena says you can go." And I'm thinking, what the hell? I'm walking home all dejected. I'm thinking, is it my inability to abbreviate chicken and cheese on the menu tickets that's causing some grief? Did I forget somebody's rice pudding? I'm like, I love words. I can't abbreviate. That's just who I am. And sure enough, I got called in for some retraining, which consisted of someone a third of my age showing me the fine art of bagel toasting and the proper cream cheese ratio. And I made boxes. I made a lot of boxes, stacks of boxes. And as I'm making the boxes, I'm thinking, I have somehow gone from a policer of female protuberances to a box-folding minion seemingly overnight. I can't wait to go home and write about this. And I didn't have to wait long because I got sent home again. For some reason, I was put on the schedule after that. And Zena and I warmed up to each other little by little, mostly when we were closing. And she started to share stories of what it was like for two immigrant women to start a bakery in a small town, and how no one could understand them when they spoke. Particularly Grace was constantly insulting people inadvertently when they'd ask the soup of the day, and her response was a cheery, "Shrimp, bitch," or "Tomato basil, bitch," because she couldn't say bisque. Oriental. So it was around that time that one cleanup, Zena and I started dancing. And we were just dancing and having a good time, and I'm like, this is how we used to dance to this song, Zena. Dun, 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 dun. And she threw the mop down, and she started dancing, and we were getting down, and we were getting funky. And yes, if you're wondering, I was totally pretending to be the one Asian chick on Soul Train with the long hair. And so we continued dancing, and we shared a cookie, and she gave me a bite and said, "You're fun." And just when I thought things couldn't get any better, she looked at me and she said simply, "Isn't it funny? We come from different parts of the world, but we did the same dances." Thank you.